There exists this beautiful genre of games that attracts a large fan base of players who seek a challenge. That genre is known as either roguelike or roguelite. I absolutely adore these games, since they usually present themselves in a way that is incredibly difficult to get into, which forces the player to improve in order to progress. However, not all roguelikes are created equal. There is one game that triumphs over all. This gem is known as the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. I'll be addressing the game as Afterbirth rather than Rebirth, but just know I'm talking about the overall game. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth comes from the creator of Super Meat Boy, the handsome and muscular Edmund McMillen. Afterbirth is the successor to his previous game, known just as the Binding of Isaac. His previous game was good, but was limited by being a simple flash game. Afterbirth captures all the magic that the original had, and expands upon it. So why is Afterbirth the best roguelike on the market, you may ask? Well, let me show you. Afterbirth is absolutely packed with interesting bosses to fight, items to synergize with, and progression to make. No other roguelike games I've played have seemed to capture all three of these elements as well as Afterbirth. I'm not saying it's a perfect game, but it's damn well near it. It's common for roguelikes to have boss fights, and Afterbirth pulls them off quite well. Risk of Rain is a fantastic game, but the boss fights aren't as interesting or fun to fight as most in Afterbirth. Another great game, Enter the Gungeon, lacks a lot of item synergy, favoring single weapons instead. It also doesn't possess the same enemy variety, which usually leaves me getting bored of my runs quicker. Again, these aren't bad games, I just believe that they can't capture the same energy that Afterbirth has. One thing that I wish were present in the game is an online multiplayer mode, especially with friendly fire, so that way I can be a good teammate. Oh shit, sorry.
What in the fuck, dude?
There is a co-op mode, but it can only be played locally, so I suppose that's more than what most roguelike games give. I just kind of wish that I could have had someone to play with. That way I could have provided my assistance.
It might be lit. Dude, what the fuck?
But hey, I'm just glad more focus went to the game itself, giving us some challenging and exhilarating boss fights. Yes, Gungeon, we know that your boss fights are good too, but it's not your spotlight. So anyways, yeah, the boss fights are pretty superb.
Even in the original Binding of Isaac, the bosses were all around great.
Thank you, out of place voice. We really should appreciate the original for laying the foundation of what Afterbirth would become. One of my favorite features was how once you defeat the first primary boss, your mother...
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen, mommy! Like me right here, mommy! Mommy, mommy, mommy! Hey, mommy, mommy!
This would only lead to more difficult bosses after her in your following playthroughs. Therefore, in Afterbirth, you'll see stages similar to this. And of course, each stage gets significantly harder as you progress. There's even some branching paths that the player can choose from, freshening up each and every run. The hundreds of items in the game also add value to replayability. Just take a peek of the amount of things you can find in this game. It's absolutely stellar! The original Binding of Isaac was really the blueprint for Afterbirth, and despite it being a 30 frame locked flash game, it did many things very well. Except for these things. Now this is hell.
Dude, what the fuck? Stop that shit.
The last thing I'd like to speak about is probably the most apparent. The theme and art style of Afterbirth is quite interesting. The pixel art looks really good, and really brings out the best of what the world has to offer. Whether it's a bunch of maggots, a room filled with literal shit enemies, items like a noose, or a morbidly obese monster that pisses everywhere. These absurdities are intertwined into the theme of the game, in which Isaac tries to overcome his inner demons in this fabricated world. I do enjoy styles of other roguelikes, such as Enter the Gungeon with its strictly gun-related theme. However, Afterbirth has a childishly intriguing and dark theme, which makes it very recognizable and iconic. Overall, the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth is the best goddamn roguelike currently on the market. I love it so much. I've spent a lot of time on this game, and I don't regret a single second of it. The items, bosses, theme, and player progression in this game is like no other roguelike. There's a good reason why it has such positive reviews. I haven't even mentioned that this game has you covered for your modding needs, which I've never even dabbled in, but I still know is good. What a high quality game, but still, I wish that there was an online multiplayer.
Who's ready to get spicy?
What was the point of that? Did you kill him?
Can you repeat that?